Alright, hello everybody. So this is the Sony Vaio PGB version, and here are just some before pictures of the Sony Vaio that I took. I got this laptop for $45, and you know, it looked like a great deal. Actually, the lady I bought it from, it had a cracked screen, and I told her fix it and I'll buy it. You know, in this flipping series, sometimes you gotta go unconventional. Told her if you can fix it, I'll buy it. Bought the laptop, 45 bucks. Applauded her on fixing it herself. And yeah, so here we go. I'm just cleaning up the laptop a bit. Working on the screen here. I'm using a Clorox wipe to do the entire laptop. You know, just as a initial disinfectant and clean of it. You know, maybe it's not the best for the screen, but that was what I did. Alright, so we're just going to get into some of the nitty gritty about the laptop. Here we have a raised bezel. I figured I could be able to push this in later. Next up, we have sort of a clicky mousepad. Actually, on the contrary, it's not clicky. It's the opposite. So when you click it, it wasn't really clicking correctly. Alright, so here we're just finishing up the cleaning. You know, just the initial wipe down of the entire laptop, because especially like during these times, you don't really want to be touching that. I wouldn't sell it if I didn't clean it. This is, from what I hear, the process that Apple does to clean their laptops or like refurbish computers. So yeah, Clorox the whole thing, get rid of any visible dirt. Here you see a random screw, which means somebody tried to open it. So I'm gonna fix that later. Alright, so here's just some more general assessment and cleaning of the laptop. They probably dropped it, I don't know what to call that. That's an issue that I cannot really fix. So, you know, before you buy these laptops, you want to make sure there are issues that you can still sell the laptop with. This one I thought totally could. And then here I'm just, you know, really cleaning the screen a little better. Now, because I initially thought this was going to be a quick flip, I really tried to get this done within, you know, an hour, which wasn't the case because of some fault on my part. Anyway, I'm here cleaning the trackpad, trying to get it to work correctly. You know, I noticed some stuff on the sides. You know, I like to really clean these laptops and make sure they look new, you know, as new as possible, pretty much. So I'm really getting in there and cleaning off the grudge of the sides. And sadly that didn't help the trackpad, but yeah, you know, it just making the whole laptop look clean and fresh is very important. Alright, so a little bit more cleaning here, and then we're gonna move on to the last issue, which is this hard drive caddy case, whatever. It kind of sticks out. So we fix that eventually, but we'll get to that when it comes. That's just the final issue that I noticed on the laptop. Some stickers.
So what we're looking at here is there is a little opening, a little breakage, right? Now my expertise that doesn't exist is that the breakage went through here, and over the years the passage found its way into this corner.
Now, as you see, we got the dude here trying to explain what he thinks is wrong, because I didn't know. This is the go-to, and he thought it was a piece of plastic that fell through the laptop, but it wasn't, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So we're going to assess the laptop, and I turned it on and it was slow, extremely slow. So first things first, we got to take this hard drive out. And here I'm trying to turn it on, but eventually we take that thing out. It's a little Hitachi 5400 RPM, and I believe it's dead. So put that back in for now, but we're gonna replace that. Next up, we got this RAM chip, which is extremely dirty. Looks like dirt got into it, so we're gonna work with that too. Alright, so here we are working with the RAM chip. I'm just giving it a nice clean with some isopropyl alcohol because there's no way I'm gonna sell it like that. It does work, so I don't really want to replace it, especially with the laptop that's kind of beat up, not really worth upgrading. So here I am just doing my best to wipe this thing down, you know, clear up all the connectors and everything with some isopropyl alcohol and a ear cleaner, which is pretty much the general tool for cleaning PC hardware, if you didn't know. Little air duster, and after that it looked clean enough. I'm not gonna say it was my greatest clean, but because this was kind of quick, it was good enough, and the RAM chip's gonna last as long as a person is gonna use a laptop, so it worked out okay. Alright, so here is our attempt at fixing the screws on the hard drive caddy. And you know, they were mismatched, and I believe that is what was messing with the cover, the hard drive cover. So here we go. You know, we're messing with some screws for my laptop kit, and yeah, so eventually this is actually a really good thing to do, because through the end you'll see I use these very long screws, and these screws actually fix the touchpad as well. I'm not sure how. Originally the original screws must have been way longer, so holding something down that has to do with the touchpad or like keyboard or whatever, so fix that, and yeah, that's one initial fix done, and I was very happy for that. So here's the longer screws, and those worked really well. So, and they also fixed the touchpad, so that was good. There we go. Nice and flush as it should be. Alright, so with that hard drive also came with that weird like cover. It didn't have a hard drive caddy, which is the thing that holds the hard drive in place. So this little rubber thing that you'll see in a second, I actually cut it and I put it underneath the hard drive, and that is what fixed it. So that's a different hard drive caddy. It didn't work. So that's what fixed it. The little rattle from the hard drive. That's me. And here's when I first found out that the touchpad was fixed. Alright, so here's a funny part. This is me finding out my impending doom when the hard drive didn't work. This is when I first found out it was super slow. I was like, alright, you know what? I'm gonna just do a reset. You know, maybe it was an old version of Windows. So here I am just loading into the BIOS, you know, like you should, which was a little complicated for some reason, but I got into it, and here's me setting, you know, boot to USB, which is usually what you do to reset a laptop or computer in normal instance. And this is me finding out that I was screwed, and I could not flip this laptop in a day because, yeah, I thought it worked, but it didn't. So because I could not get, because I couldn't install Windows 10 fresh version on the old hard drive, I had a great idea. After hours, let's just replace the hard drive with a good one that I have, a fast one. And that's what I did. So here's it booting up for the first time, and I thought, okay, that's a go. So, you know, getting new devices ready. This is the the initial screen when you plug in a hard drive that has Windows 10 on it and you put it into a new computer. This is what happens. So I thought I was good to go, and this is where I just kind of move on. And you'll notice later what happens. But yeah, so I was pretty happy at this point. Here's it all booted up. You know, I'm just checking Task Manager to make sure everything worked right. But what I didn't know is that Sony Vaio has to have its own, you know, file system in there, and that's what controls the volume, screen brightness, etc. So, long task awaiting. Okay. Let me show y'all where I've been. It's been a little bit of a ride. Put this hard drive in Windows 10, and it worked fine, right? Perfectly working, but no sound, right? Couldn't get sound to come on here. Everything worked, but I cannot sell a laptop with no sound. But little did you know, that's what you had to do. Alright, so I went on a mission to figure out what was wrong with the sound. And so I took the old hard drive, put it back in. You know, I thought it was a driver problem. But no, it wasn't. The sound on these laptops actually just dies. So this took a long time to figure out and sort of wrecked the one-day flip kind of thing. But eventually, no, yeah. We don't fix it. We just sell it as is. All right. Alas, though, we have some good news out of this. So I went crazy and I took the entire computer apart, as you can see here. And when I opened up the screen, the lady left a screw in it. That's what the rattle was. So that's gone now. Software before hardware. All right. So here are a couple pictures of the ad that I put up. Here's what the ad looks like. I put that it's an i3, upgraded hard drive, 4 gigs of RAM, Windows 10 Pro, HDMI. I like to lay out my stuff like that. I think it works the best. I said everything works great, except the sound only works through the headphone jack or HDMI. Because the speakers in this laptop were broken, I had to take somewhat of a loss. So I had a couple people message me. One dude said, look, I'll give you 100. I said 110 and it's yours. Boom. Sold it to that guy for $110. He asked me a ton of questions. I showed him everything on the laptop. Done deal. In the ad, you see selling cheap, firm. I told him that it doesn't work. I said firm 140. The reason I did this is because people always offer less. So you put firm and then you could wiggle around $20. I'm cool with 110 on this laptop. And yeah, it was definitely a ride, but we did it. I can never see you in my life, built for two. I can never see you in my life, built for two. Again, is she big?